In this video, I want to teach you a great shot, this so-called kill shot. And to be honest, I'm always a bit happy when it comes up because it just looks great. You're doing some crazy stuff with the cue ball that just seems impossible to other players. And it's just a great shot to have in your repertoire. And there are certain situations that require exactly this kind of shot. And this is one of those situations because we're playing 8-ball, we are on solids, we just want to make that ball into here and hold the cue ball somewhere in this area for an easy shot on the 8-ball. So let's try to do that first of all without using any spin. So I'm just hitting the center of the cue ball and we will just see where the cue ball stops with no spin on the cue ball. You can see I hit that really soft, but the cue ball goes completely wild. It ends up way further here compared to ending up here and we have no shot. I mean, if the cue ball just magically would end on that line, we have a kind of shot, but it's a long one. And even if the cue ball travels any further, we have a very difficult 8-ball. So maybe we can just hit that ball softer to make the cue ball stop at this area. So let's give that a try and just decrease the speed even more. And now you could see the cue ball stopped in time, but the problem is this ball will never reach that pocket that way. So is it even possible to make the object ball into here and at the same time keep the cue ball here? Well, it seems like it's not possible, but this is exactly where we're gonna use the kill shot. And with kill shot, we just mean that we're gonna kill the cue ball speed. And this basically has just two components. It's simple to execute once you understand how to do it. Let's talk about it first. So the first component you need is spin on the cue ball. And in that case, we're gonna use left spin on the cue ball. And the reason why we're gonna use left spin is the following. You have to imagine when you're cutting that ball in, the cue ball naturally goes into that direction and then just bounces out to the right here, right? If we would now use right spin on the cue ball, so that spin, this would just help the cue ball gain some more speed because the cue ball wants to go naturally already into that direction. But if we now would use left spin, that kind of spin, which brings the cue ball pretty much back to the left, this is counteracting the speed or the bounce or the natural rebound angle of the cue ball, and this just makes the cue ball slow down a bit. So let's give that a try. I'm gonna play the same shot, same speed, and this time I'm just gonna use left spin on the cue ball. Let's see if this is already enough. Okay, left spin was fine. You can see all of a sudden the cue ball doesn't even travel all the way to here. We still ended up behind that 15-ball and we have no shot on the 8-ball. So left spin is good, but that's only one part, as I mentioned, because the other part we're gonna use is low on the cue ball. And why do we need to use low on the cue ball? The left spin, first of all, made the cue ball slow down once it reaches the rail. On the contact with the rail, the cue ball loses some speed. But what the low does, it already makes the cue ball lose some speed while it's traveling over the table. The reason is very simple. If you're using no spin on the cue ball just rolls forward, right? So it moves forward. But what the low does, it makes the cue ball go backwards. And you can see this automatically kills the speed of the cue ball when it's traveling along the cloth. And this is why the low can actually make the cue ball slow down before it even hit the rail. So I would say let's just play the shot with just low and no left spin, see what happens, and then we're gonna combine both and I'm gonna talk you through how you have to stroke and how you have to aim it. Let's give it a try. So maximum low on the cue ball, and of course I wanna hit soft again. Well, maybe a bit too hard, but you can see that the cue ball already took a different path. Unfortunately, we ended up behind that 9-ball, but once again, you can see the cue ball didn't travel that far. Let's give it a try again. Let's hit just a bit softer because you can hit that one softer with low and see if we get a different result. Okay, maybe a bit better, but we still have no chance to hold the cue ball here just with low, but you can definitely see it lost a bit of its pace. So now it's time to combine both the low and the left spin. So when we're playing that shot, first of all, what kind of stroke do we need to put on? Well, since we don't want to hit hard, of course, we are not gonna put that kind of stroke onto the ball. No, we're just gonna decrease the distance of our bridge to the cue ball, and we're just gonna do tiny backswings, because those tiny backswings will make us hit a lot softer compared to having this big backswing and forward motion. It seems obvious, right? So when I'm playing that shot, I just wanna have a really short impact, short backswing, don't hit really hard, just like this kind of pop stroke where we just pop the cue ball a bit. This is the first part. And how do you aim? Well, aiming is very simple. Because first of all, with the left spin, what would seem obvious, if you're hitting on the left, the cue ball will deflect to the right. This is right, but since we're hitting so softly, the cue ball will deflect to the right, but then curve back to the left, so we don't have to adjust our aim at all. We just can aim to the same spot as we're always aiming. But enough of the theory, let's just play the shot with low left, a short impact stroke, and see what the cue ball does now. You can see how close I'm getting to the ball. Just watch my stroke that I'm putting on. And all of a sudden, you can see the cue ball is nicely positioned for the 8-ball. And compared to before, where the cue ball traveled all the way to here, it just traveled that tiny amount of the rail, and we have a great shot on the 8-ball. So this is the kill shot. And of course, what is important is, this kill shot obviously doesn't work if you're close to the rail, but also not if you're super far away, because then the whole thing gets super difficult to execute. So in that case, you can see what happens. The cue ball curves too much to the left, so I wouldn't recommend that in that case. Only if you're pretty close to the ball, then it's a very legit shot that you can execute with a high percentage, but if you're further away, it gets way more difficult. So kill shot is a great shot to have in your repertoire. You can see, easy shot on the 8-ball once again. Just love that shot. Let me know in the comments if you actually knew about this one, and if you want to see more of those special kind of shots, then I'm going to do more on that one. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, see you at the next lesson. Take care.